Greetings one and all, my name is Lancer and welcome to the Spring 2025 Bingecap. We will be recapping what I chose to binge over the course of these last 12 weeks. Well, I'm gonna be honest, this season, it had its stuff. Honestly, this might be a quick one. Without much delay, let's get right into it. I'd say let's start with some of the worst, because that's how I like to do this. We'll start with this one, Makina-san's A Love Bot. I'm not even gonna bother reading the synopsis of this one. It's basically hentai, and in complete transparent truth, you might as well just watch hentai. You'll get more out of it, and honestly, it will be better. It's a Shotokan. If you don't know what that means, do not Google it. He's super obsessed with robots, and this idol at his school turns out to be a robot. And even more so, it's a sex robot. And it's pretty much just the sex robot trying to have sex with this kid. That is a sentence. Who needed this? Who wanted this? The episodes themselves are like barely 10 minutes. And well, yeah, honestly, 2 out of 10. 2 out of 10 for, well, 1, 2, boinga boinga. Keeping on the borderline hentai train, please put them on, Takamine-san. I had seen screenshots of this show here and there, building up to its inevitable anime adaptation. And well, I could not have been prepared for what this show actually was. I mean, I'll say this, I finished it. I did not finish to it, but I did finish it. Takamine is great at everything she does, and her magnetic personality makes her the envy of everyone. But Takamine has a secret. She possesses an ability called Eternal Virgin Road, allowing her to redo past actions and achieve a different result. But there's a price that has to be paid. She must strip off a piece of her lingerie. And well, our main guy Shiroda confronts her on this and sees it in action, and well, he becomes her closet. At the very least, I guess respecting shows more and more for just showing nudity, especially like this is on Crunchyroll, and there was no like mature tag with it. It's just one of those shows where the fan art is gonna go crazy. I mean, it already has. Thank you, Twitter timeline. I can't necessarily say the anime is anything weird. I will say the choice of art for this, the faces are really weird. It's definitely a unique style I've never really seen before, but I can't say I like it. Overall, I give it a 3 out of 10 because I enjoyed it a little more than the other show we just talked about, but it's not one that will stick in lasting memory. At the very least, maybe for the long ass transformation sequence that plays every time she takes her underwear off. Moving on. We'll do a sequel season, that being Aharen-san wa Hakarenai Season 2. I was weirdly looking forward to this. I mean, not looking forward because I honestly didn't even know it was coming out until it was out, but I enjoyed the first season for what it was when I watched it way back when. And well, I do give big props to this season because it, I assume, wraps out the entire manga, because, I mean, where it ends, it's like, yeah, that's where it ends. I don't see there being any more. I will say, this show does take a little bit to kind of get back into. I definitely probably should have brushed up on season 1 since it's been a long time, and it's not really one that really stuck with me. I mean, I knew I enjoyed it, it's just it's not really one that's lasted long in memory, because getting back into it, I'm just like, who the fuck are most of these characters? I mean, the second season does at least a good job, at least like when a character comes back and it's just like, oh yeah, hey, how's that thing been going? It does introduce like this Gyaru character who has history with Reina. This is one of those shows I definitely describe as kind of ASMR the show, just like everyone kind of talks in like a softer tone. I mean, I enjoy at least because this builds off the first season, because at the end of the first season, which spoilers, I guess, they end up together, and the second season is like, all right, now they're together now, so that's at least fun. Now that both seasons are done, I think this is a good, simple, like you could binge it real quick. Overall, I give it an easy 7 out of 10. I enjoyed it more than I didn't. I definitely will admit I skipped and skimmed through some episodes, but you know, I got the gist of it, and I enjoy the characters for who they are. It was a good wrapping out of that cute little series. I'm gonna talk about this real quick since I've only watched a couple episodes of it, but that is Yaiba Samurai Legend. Upon enrolling in school, Yaiba quickly crosses swords with his soon-to-be rival Onimaru. When Onimaru is transformed into a demon by a cursed power of a Fujinken, Yaiba embarks on a quest to Mount Tengu to find his own enchanted sword, but Yaiba lacks the skills and knowledge to use such a powerful weapon. If he can't control himself, it will control him. I'm gonna be honest, I've only seen 3 episodes. I did not know that was the plot. I was immediately hooked with the style of this show, and then now looking that it's adapted from a manga from the 1980s, like I could tell from the style, it's like this is definitely something that's a lot older. Very reminiscent, just in the first couple episodes, of so many other shonen. Right away, it reminded me of Dragon Ball, just with like Kid Goku and that kind of style of character. Also Hunter x Hunter, just with like you start out on this like tropical island, and it's like, what time period are we set in? And then all of a sudden we're in a fucking airport. Oh, we're modern day. day, well, modern day in the 80s, I guess. I will give this show credit more than other shonen. At least the kid's dad is around. But yeah, I think I'll wait till it's done, or because it's unknown how many episodes it's gonna be. I'll wait till it's further along before I watch any more, but I was immediately hooked. The animation's great. I like it, and I look forward to seeing more of it. I've only seen 3 episodes, so I'm not gonna give a score for it just yet, because it's a little too soon, but it's on my radar. Next up, this one. Can a boy-girl relationship survive? A boy and girl pledge lifelong friendship in a small town for junior high. The relationship between these two, who are destined to share a common dream, has passed 2 years without any particular development. Himari Inuzuka, a bubbly girl who has yet to find her first love, and Yu Natsume, a plant-loving boy who enjoys flowers, still spend their days peaceful as best friends in the gardening club. If you can't get married, I have to take responsibility. I'm having trouble now because Himari said that. Your brother began calling me my brother-in-law. These are quotes, by the way. However, when Yu reunites with his first crush, the gears of their relationship suddenly go out of sync. Will Himari be able to escape her ideal friend now that she has found love? That's a weird synopsis. I will give this show a major credit. It tackles a relationship dynamic that I rarely see in anime, which is a girl and guy who are really close, and it doesn't really pull any punches with that. And it's a relationship that's at least somewhat believable. Like, obviously there's some stretches there, but Himari's just like, hey, let's be friends. We're friends now, and it develops into this relationship. It's definitely one of those ones where by the end of what I assume maybe is the first season, I don't really need to see any more. You know, I can kind of guess where it's gonna go from there. I will say, Himari definitely takes some getting used to in terms of her character, just because she's, you know, a friend, but she's that friend that's any moment that could be skewed as being a serious moment, she kind of laughs it off. But there's also this other girl who gets introduced, and there's kind of this trio dynamic, which I did really enjoy seeing the 3 of them, but I feel like the dark-haired girl kind of took a backseat fairly quickly. But I thought it would be more of like the back and forth of like the double will they won't they kind of thing. But it's just one of those ones where I just felt like, could we just get to the point? And by the time we did get to the point, we were about halfway through the first season, and it still was taking a while. But I mean, this show had a style to it. It's not ugly. In fact, it's kind of beautiful to look at. I respect this romance for being a relationship that isn't really tackled all that much. So at the very least, I give this show a 6 out of 10. I feel like there's more that could have been done with it, and it could have honestly maybe been a little shorter, but that's honestly a gripe I'm just finding a lot nowadays with these 12 episode shows. It was cute. I didn't hate it all that much. We'll leave it at that. Moving on. A surprising one. Kowloon generic romance. With its flickering street lights, moldy back alleys, and noisy populates, the second Kowloon walled city, despite the squalor of its already demolished predecessor, evokes a special kind of nostalgia that its residents find endearing. Amidst the walls of its fading yet beloved landscape lives Reiko Kujirai, a 32-year-old realtor deeply in love with her co-worker Hajime Kudo. Though they have their differences, the two get along well enough to experience the joys of the walled city together. However, everything starts to fall apart when Kudo, half asleep, suddenly kisses Kujirai, seemingly reciprocating the feelings she has yet to confess. But when Kudo explains that he had mistaken her for someone else, Kujirai finds herself drawn into a series of events that leads to a past she cannot remember. I will say the first episode of this show left me confused, but in like the Evangelion confused, where it's like, I really fuck with what's going on. I need to see more. And it almost left me in a place of just like, should I be reacting to this show? And honestly, maybe I should have. It kind of would have been fun, something different. But I definitely will say it had me in the first half, not gonna lie. And well, I guess you could maybe chalk it up to my lack of attention span. But it slowly started to lose me over the course of it, just because like the amount of characters they were introducing and plots. I could have gone with it just being like the mystery of it, just like, oh, she's this girl who's lost her memory from a previous life. There's still one more episode of it as I'm recording this, so I mean, I'm curious to see how it wraps out. Hopefully it does wrap out. I hope it's not a season 1-2 situation, because I don't think it needs to be. But it definitely has a very interesting concept, and the style of it is actually really gorgeous. I just felt like it could have taken more episodes to really play with this idea of just this girl having this amnesia before it really jumped into a lot of the other crazy shit. And then also like getting into like, oh, this whole town is not even really real. It's all part of this like imaginary life thing. And I'm still waiting to really see what the ultimate twist is gonna be, if the girl ends up actually remembering stuff or not. Definitely check out the first episode or so, just because it's intriguing if nothing else. It definitely sets itself up with its mystery. Whether or not it pays off well, well, that's kind of a different story altogether. But it has its moments. Definitely someone with more patience than I will enjoy it. But I give it an easy 7. The opening and ending are quite the bops as well. I have playlisted them. Definitely not a waste of time. But alright, last couple ones we'll talk about. This one, the Shuinji family children. I'm not even gonna read the synopsis. It's another quintessential quintuplets clone. And honestly, this one's not even as subtle about it. I mean, the difference here though, it's like this show starts and it's like these 7 characters. It's like, oh, we're all like siblings, yeah? But then the dad comes in and is just like, actually, you're all adopted, which makes sense because none of them look at all the same. And then it's just back and forth because like the girls are just like, oh, that means our brother's fair game now. I'll give it this. This show has heart. There's not nothing there. It's not just a quintessential quintuplets clone, even though it's not that. But it's just kind of one of those ones where it's like, I look at the concept, I'm just like, okay, I get that like you're not related by blood right now, so it's fine, but no one's gonna question just like, you've been siblings all this time. You've approached each other that way. Why are we just like, yeah, cool, let's fuck now? Just me? Am I the only one that just like, I would look at that and be like, okay, that doesn't change how I view you. Having seen Quintessential Quintuplets, and I love that show a lot. I mean, Quintessential Quintuplets obviously isn't the first show really to tackle the multiple heroines and like they're all related but not related. But I think it's the best one that's done it. I look at all of them, it's just like, you're Yotsuba, you're Nino, you're Ichika, you're Itsuki, and you are Miku. I mean, again, this show has a style to it. It's very pretty looking. It's the same studio that did the Alia Russian show, as well as Oshinoko. Damn, this studio's done a lot. They have a wide range of styles. Another one of those shows where the fan art go crazy. It even ends similar to the first season of Quintessential Quintuplets, where just like, oh, some of them have accepted just like, oh, I like him, I won't let the others have them, and they even say it to each other. So yeah, whenever season 2 of it comes out, sure, whatever. But for right now, I leave it at a fine 5, honestly, middle of the road. It wasn't offensive. It wasn't anything of note, really, to me at least. All right, last 2 that we'll talk about. First of which, Lazarus. A show that I started reacting to and then didn't finish. And honestly, now that I've seen the majority of it, I'm glad I didn't commit to it. The year is 2052, an era of unprecedented peace and prosperity because mankind has been freed from sickness and pain. The Nobel Prize-winning neuroscientist Dr. Skinner has developed a miracle cure-all drug with no apparent drawbacks called Hapna. However, soon after Hapna is introduced, Skinner vanishes. 3 years later, the world moved on, but Skinner has returned, this time a harbinger of doom. He has announced that Hapna has a short lifespan. Everyone who has been taking it will die approximately 3 years later. As a response to this threat, a special task force of 5 agents is gathered from across the world to save humanity from Skinner's plan. This group is called Lazarus. Can they find Skinner and develop a vaccine before time runs out? This is by the same director of shows such as Cowboy Bebop, Samurai Champloo, Space Dandy, and it also takes place in the world, apparently, just because it's one of those ones where it's like, it's all in the same world, but it's not. You couldn't tell at first glance. I mean, definitely off of the style of it, it's like, yeah, this is definitely the same director as Cowboy Bebop and all that. And that's what got me really interested in the beginning of it. But I'll say, I don't know, I feel like this show loses steam pretty quickly. The first episode is fucking phenomenal. I mean, a lot of that has to do with Axel as the main character. I mean, a lot of this show does function similarly to Cowboy Bebop in that sense, where it's like, we have this group that's all like kind of thrown together, meeting for the first time, and then steadily over the course of the show, we learn more and more about their backstories and their histories, which coincides with their current mission. But unlike with Cowboy Bebop, which had the time to develop each of those characters, this show is only 13 episodes, and a lot of it does feel a little rushed, and I don't feel like I'm as attached to most of these characters. And a lot of the missions they go on, it's just, oh, we're just chasing these breadcrumbs. And well, by the end, with there being 1 episode left, I don't feel like they're any closer to finding Skinner than when they were at the very beginning of this. I mean, the animations here and there on stuff, I mean, I don't like to really have that be a main focal point, but when it's by the same director as Cowboy Bebop, it feels like such a weird show. It feels like a show that wasn't given that much time for development, just on the production side of things. It's by Studio Mappa as well. Honestly, I didn't even really notice. I mean, when Axel's doing his fucking kicking and all that, just like every other main character written by this director, it's good. It feels like one of those shows that could have benefited from being longer, but at the same time, I don't know if I really wanted it to be much longer. Again, like, I just don't have a lot of patience, I guess, with shows these days, but it's far from the worst show I've ever seen, obviously. Again, the first episode is really phenomenal. Like, after watching it the second time, it kind of got better. And like, there's episodes here and there that are fun. I just don't feel like it's anything that special, especially compared to a lot of the other stuff that this director's made. I feel like it's ultimately going to kind of be forgotten, obviously, even compared to those. I mean, it's shorter than all of those. At least all the other shows, Cowboy Bebop, Champloo, and Space Dandy, had 20 plus episodes to do stuff with. Sadly, I feel like this is going to be a forgotten title. At the very least, I'll give it a 7 out of 10 for being at least an intriguing world. And the dub isn't half bad. But lastly, we will end this out by talking about My Hero Academia Vigilantes, a show that I have been watching week to week just because I am a avid fan of the series My Hero Academia. And well, I was looking forward to them eventually adapting the manga of Vigilantes, and well, it finally happened, just as the main series is about to have its final season. There's still one more episode of the first season, and I'm curious to see how it wraps out. I imagine it's going to be a cliffhanger and set up for the inevitable second season. It's a very fun show. Style-wise, it's almost impossible to compare it to the original My Hero Academia, just because it looks so different and it's so well done. I mean, I'm glad to see that they took the style change that they had for the later part of season 6 and also season 7 of the main show and put it into this and also still gave it its own flair, which makes me look forward to the final season when they take all of that and put it into that. Despite it being part of the My Hero Academia world, it being both a prequel and a spin-off, it still feels like its own thing. It's so much more comic booky than the main show My Hero Academia, which I love it. I love just looking at it. Production-wise, I have no complaints about this show. Animation, art style, the music, obviously Yuki Hayashi as well. It's great stuff. It's been a treat to watch week to week, and I'm gonna be sad when it's over, but I definitely enjoyed the latest episodes the most, I feel. I mean, just obviously we're building towards a finale, and a lot of it has been some good action. And well, yeah, though the characters, it's still kind of taken me some time to get attached to them. I mean, I enjoy them. Again, Koichi, Popstep, Knuckle Duster, they're great main characters. It's just mainly the second half of this season so far has felt like I'm kind of missing that vigilante side of it, but a lot of it's just been mainly Pop and Knuckles stuff. Despite all that, I have been having a very fun time with Vigilantes, and though I've yet to see its finale, I know it'll be an interesting wrap out and setup for the second season, whenever that will be. And well, I give Vigilantes an easy 8 out of 10. I know I give it all this praise and I don't give it like a 10 out of 10, but I mean, it's not a 10 out of 10. And honestly, 9 out of 10 is a little too much as well, but just because, I mean, we're just planting our feet with this first season. Though it's done a lot and it's been good, you know, I'm still waiting for just kind of that moment where it's just like, yeah, this is something special. Overall, yeah, that was everything I watched for the spring 2025 season. Didn't seem like a lot, and honestly, I did not have that much praise to give to stuff. But now we have to look forward to the summer 2025 season, and I know we have a lot to look forward to. We, of course, in the next couple weeks, will be having My Dress Up Darling Season 2, finally. Dan Dan Season 2, which of course I'll be reacting to that week to week on the channel. Kaiju number 8 Season 2, I did Season 1 on the channel. I won't be doing Season 2 for this. I enjoyed Season 1 for what it was, but I can go without watching this week to week on the channel. Call of the Night Season 2. Now I am tempted to watch this on the channel because I very much enjoyed Season 1. The Rising of Shield Hero Season 4. I am actually a pretty big fan of Shield Hero. I won't do it on the channel, but I'll have fun with it in my own time. Rascal Does Not Dream of Santa Claus. The continuation of the Rascal story. Oh, Sakamoto Days Part 2. I didn't even know that was coming out this soon. Are you fucking kidding me? Rent a Girlfriend Season 4? I didn't even know. It's coming out this season? Are you fucking kidding me? God damn it. I hate that I'm excited. Oh my god, there's so much sequel stuff coming out this season and a lot of other one-off stuff. Our summer 2025 binge cap is gonna be a long one because we're gonna have a lot to talk about. So much good shit. Can't believe they backlogged it and saved it for the summer. But that will be in another 12 to 13 weeks before we do that. But either way, this was the spring 2025 binge cap. To be honest, this kind of felt like a filler season. There was some fun stuff here and there, but ultimately it was kind of just Vigilantes, and that was it. I know there was Fire Force Season 3, but I'm not the biggest fan of Fire Force, so I didn't really care. And I'm sure there was other stuff. You can let me know down in the comments below if there was anything this season that I should have checked out. And let me know what you thought about some of these shows if you've watched them. And I hope you'll join me for many other videos of the sort, be they future anime reviews, reactions, gameplay, and everything else will be coming out soon. Thank you all for joining me on this. I'm Lancer. Thanks for watching.